We often think of sustainable weight loss as a distant concept, something reserved for the fortunate few who are genetically blessed. But the reality is that achieving sustainable weight loss is not on the far side of the magic weight loss diet you are in pursuit of. In this video, I'll walk you through the 5-step routines that, if you can get them right, will help you master your body with less stress and confidence than you've ever had. But before I get into it, what does sustainable weight loss mean to you? I know that some people will want to skip to the meal ideas. What do I eat and when of this video? But those are the people still looking for a diet, still looking for the best diet out there, a arbitrary set of rules to help them lose weight quickly, only to wreck their metabolism in the process. But that's not you, my friend. You want to get new knowledge to end the cycle of dieting and become the healthiest version of yourself. One of my favorite quotes from the motivational speaker Zig Ziglar says, "The elevator to success is out of order, but the stairs are always open." Do you get that? There is no shortcut to success. So, what does a sustainable weight loss mean to you? Common responses I get when I ask these questions are: sustainable weight loss means losing weight and maintaining it for a long time. Being able to lose weight without depriving myself of favorite foods. Losing weight at a steady state of 1 to 2 pounds per week. Making gradual and realistic changes to your lifestyle that you can maintain for the rest of your life without quick fixes or fad diet. Losing weight without drastic dieting, extreme exercises, or harmful behaviors. What's the common denominator from all of these responses? Sustainable weight loss is more than a number on the scale. It's a state of mind where you are physically, mentally, and spiritually healthy. The idea of feeling confident in your body and health choices, knowing that it's not taken away from your other life's priorities. After losing weight on a diet, we often reward ourselves with a cheat meal, a dress, or a photo shoot. While all of those are not necessarily bad, I learned from this book, No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy, that success in itself is its own reward. The wonderful thing about success is that every step in that direction is rewarding in itself. The step you take towards becoming a better version of yourself makes you feel happier, more confident, and fulfilled. So let's get into the 5 routines. The first step is to track and repair. Year after year, many people make New Year resolutions to lose weight and eat healthy. But these resolutions never become reality. Why? Because, like most people, we all tend to rely on willpower and motivation for success. If you have been stuck on the yo-yo dieting cycle for years, or you have been trying to lose weight by eating healthy, exercising, and the weight is not shifting, please pause. You likely have leaky gut or slow metabolism for many years of dieting. I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but if you struggle from weight gain and constantly getting bloated, you likely have a leaky gut. Many factors have an impact on our gut health: elevated stress, infection, food toxins, highly processed foods, personal food sensitivity, poor sleep habits, exposure to toxins like mercury, lead, and the likes, inadequate nutrients and antioxidants like vitamin C, zinc, selenium, stress like intense or long workout. All of these contribute to damaging our healthy intestinal wall. Last year, I struggled with binge eating and I had to do a deep dive about what was wrong with my diet. Well, hot chocolate, because of the UK weather culture shock. Hot chocolate. And you know what that leads to? You guessed it. Increased intake of simple sugars. By the end of the year, I was able to repair my leaky gut by moving from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. There's a growing body of evidence supporting the connection between gut health, hormone dysfunction, autoimmune disease, and weight gain. So, in layman's terms, what is leaky gut? A healthy gut lining comprises of tiny, tight, connective junction. Think a white sieve material. These tight junctions are supposed to act as a filter or strainer, keeping waste products out of our system. When those connections are damaged, it's like trying to strain your rice with a sieve that has large big holes. Of course, the rice is going to seep through. Those holes or loose connections allow food particles to pass through into our body without proper digestion or absorption. Imagine a foreign object entering your thin and sensitive digestive tract. The gut lining becomes inflamed when this happens, but you may not experience any symptoms. Many of us have no idea this occurs, but over time, it results into chronic inflammation that ultimately damage our intestinal wall. This is what we call leaky gut. The first step towards healing a leaky gut is to minimize inflammation. Inflammation is the thief of vitality, and it is caused by eating highly processed foods and some so-called natural, healthy food products. While tracking how a particular food makes you feel after eating may seem unnecessary, it will give you tremendous insight into the foods you need to cut back on to minimize inflammation. Last year, I noticed I was having hunger pangs after eating bread and hot dogs. Sometimes I can eat as much as 4 slices of bread and 4 pieces of hot dog and still feel like I haven't eaten. Meanwhile, I have already consumed 680 calories. To feel better, I would have to snack on yogurt or almond nut or eggs to feel better. You know what happens? The next morning, I wake up with a bloating. Ultimately, I wake up with a bloating. So I don't need anybody to tell me that these foods are maybe not so good for me and I need to cut down on eating such food. You can identify foods that causes gas, bloating, headache, brain fog, acne, constipation, and other symptoms. The more you can personalize a meal plan that will work for you. The next week, write down every meal you eat and note which food, if any, causes you any symptoms. You can also track your progress by using apps like MyFitnessPal. One of the features I love about MyFitnessPal is that after completing your diary, you can add notes, and in the notes section, you can add how any food make you feel. If you can reduce inflammation, you can repair your gut and experience tremendous healing, which will make you lose weight and maintain it sustainably. But I know that it's very possible for you to think that, why do I need to go through all this process? This is hard work. Therefore, ignore this critical step. But if you do that, you are going to be stuck in the yo-yo dieting cycle. And my friend, you don't want to be there. You want to be done with that in year 2025. The second thing you can do to heal your gut is to increase your gut microbiome. The microbiome is used to describe all good and bad organisms in the body. The tiny microorganisms in your intestine are responsible for digestion, absorption, and activation of all the key nutrients that you need to function maximally. An activation of key nutrients vital to hormone production and regulation. You can increase your gut microbiome by increasing your intakes of fermented food, such as yogurt, probiotics, fiber plant food, healthy fat, flaxseed, chia seed, and high quality protein. Other things you can do to repair your gut include fasting and resting your digestive system, increasing your water intake. Ideally, you want to make sure that you are drinking 2 to 3 liters of water daily. Avoid overuse of antibiotics and other over-the-counter medications. Minimize your intake of sugars, refined carbohydrate, and processed oils that feed on healthy microbes in the body. Minimize exposure to environmental toxins like mold, mercury, parabens, and the likes. Reduce stress, and be physically active. Try to exercise 30 minutes 5 days a week. And last but not the least, get enough sleep. Sleep for about 7 to 8 hours a day every night. When I see someone struggling to walk with swollen ankles and a bloated tummy, I just see a sign on their forehead that screams inflammation. I usually wish to go to them and say, there is solution. You can get some relief. But I hold back because that would be very awkward. So instead, I'm counting on you to like this video right now so that many people can watch this video and get their healing. Once you pass step 1, move to step 2, which is shifting from sugar bunny to fat burning. We call this ketosis. In a book, 131 Method, Charlene Johnson, a world-renowned health and fitness expert with over 30 years in the health and wellness industry, shared how she was struggling with poor concentration, headache, tiredness, fatigue, brain fog, poor sleep. She saw a family doctor who thought she was experiencing menopause at the age of 46. But after a referral to a neurologist, a nutritional panel showed that she was deficient in almost every essential nutrient. And the brain scan done showed that she was on the way to having early onset Alzheimer's disease. This was a wake-up call for her, and she decided to change her diet using all of the steps I'm sharing in today's video. The body naturally converts carbohydrate into sugar and then ultimately glucose. In this state, the body becomes conditioned to run on sugar for energy. By the way, carbohydrate doesn't just include bread, rice, potato, cake, ice cream. They are also found in many healthy foods, including whole grains, oats, beans, fruit, vegetables, and even nuts. Carbs are great when we eat the right type of carbs in the right portion. And the amount that we need to eat differs from one person to the other. It's insane for us to think that the amount of carbs a 20-year-old needs is the same amount of carbs a 60-year-old should be eating. It is important to note that protein ultimately can also be converted into sugar from amino acid. This is done through a process called gluconeogenesis. What being a sugar burner does to you is that it increases your level of insulin. And when insulin rises, it ultimately affects how our body processes food, metabolism. So if you have been struggling to lose weight despite drinking so many detox drinks, eating fruit and vegetables, and you're not getting results, it is important to switch from being a sugar burner to a fat burner. That is called ketosis. There are many ways of getting in ketosis, but in this video, we'll only talk about two. The first is to shift your intake of macronutrients so that you're increasing your intake of healthy fat while dramatically reducing your intake of carbohydrate and proteins. To do this, 70 to 80% of the calories you're getting should be healthy fats, or your intake of carbohydrate will be between 5 to 10%. Again, you can use my fitness pal to estimate the amount of macronutrient in the food you're eating. The second way is to deplete your body's glucose store by increasing the amount of time between your meals. This is a process called, yes, intermittent fasting. If you can stretch the amount of time between dinner and the time you eat your next meal the following day, you can shift your body to a point where it's using ketone for energy while you're not eating. This is my personal favorite. If you're an OG, you already know this. As you gradually extend the hours between your meals, you will cut down the amount of time you're spending eating, which we call your eating window. So your goal is to have an eating window that is less than 8 hours and a fasting window that is greater than 16 hours. Don't worry, 8 hours out of the 16 you'll spend sleeping anyway. Ketosis helps regulate hunger hormones by reducing insulin. When hunger hormones are out of balance, no amount of willpower or discipline will be enough. Only by regulating our hunger hormones can we truly understand the emotional reasons and non-hunger related factors that makes us want to eat all the time. It takes about 5 days to 2 weeks to be in ketosis. What are the physical signs that you're in ketosis? Increased energy. This is quite common if you're doing it for the very first time. Reduce appetite, diminish hunger, decrease cravings, increase thirst, increase bloating and water retention, increase focus, mental clarity, and energy, fruity or metallic taste in the mouth. Trust me when I say that this is a game changer, especially if you're trying to lose belly fat. Now, I am not talking about living a lifestyle of ketogenic diet, which was why I explained the two types of how to get into ketosis. It's either you increase your intake of healthy fat or you do intermittent fasting. And if you want to get the best from intermittent fasting, also increase your intake of healthy fat. It just may not be as high as somebody doing a keto-ish diet. A long-term ketogenic diet would also ultimately result in nutritional deficiency. So it's important to face your diet, and that takes me to the third step. Step 3, face your diet. Diet facing is as old as human evolution. Our ancestors tried on completely different nutrients as each season changes. The changing availability of food necessitated seasonal variation in their diet for basic survival. When you change things up, your metabolism does not have the time to adapt or slow down. A flexible metabolism means that you can burn fat as fuel and then return to eating carbs to replenish your glucose stores without gaining weight. Oh, yes, I told you this is not a ketogenic diet. On the other side of facing your diet are these amazing rewards: hormone balance, freedom from obsessive eating, balanced insulin sensitivity, increased metabolic flexibility, increased gut microbiome diversity, seasonal convenience, and freedom to eat a wide variety of foods. But you have to do it in the right order. If you're watching this video, there is a high chance that you have hormone imbalance with a skyrocketing insulin level. Hence, there is need to switch into fat burning for 3 to 4 weeks to balance insulin sensitivity before gradually introducing carbohydrates back into your diet. So the $1,000,000 question: how do you face your diet? Simple. By monitoring your macronutrient over a period of 12 weeks. For the first 3 to 4 weeks, you will eat low carb, high fat, and moderate protein foods. The ratio is as follows: 70 to 80% fat, 10 to 20% protein, and 5 to 10% carbohydrates. Meal ideas: we include eggs with avocado, a high-fat smoothie with avocado, healthy nuts and avocado, say almond nuts, almond or coconut flour pancakes, lettuce, chicken, avocado wrap, salmon or chicken salad with olive oil dressing, and so on. In the following 3 to 4 weeks, start introducing more carbs into your diet by eating more fruits and vegetables. This will be vegan-ish, and you want to aim for a ratio of 10 to 15% fat. See, we brought it down. 30 to 50% protein and 20 to 40% carbohydrate. You want to make sure that your carbohydrates are lean grains. This time around, we are going back to the way God planned this body to eat. Listen, the only evidence I need for this is my Bible. Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. Then God said, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. This was God's plan for us when He created us, before we commercialize food production. Do we need to say more about the effect of GMOs? Don't even get me started. Meal ideas for this phase, we include foodies with leafy green vegetables and berries, salad with leafy vegetables and non-starchy vegetables such as curry, mushrooms, cucumber, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and more fried veggies, sweet potato with scrambled egg, chicken veggie wrap, and so on. In the last 4 weeks, you would be eating more carbs, even more carbs. Yes, you do not need to cut out carbs entirely from your diet. My God did not create any bad food. Bad food are highly processed foods. The challenge we have is that we consume carbs in excess. If you face your diet in this order that I have outlined, we will not have any challenge with a well-portioned amount of carbs, because your hormones will naturally drive your hunger and satiety. You can play around with your macronutrient ratio, but I recommend 15 to 20% of fat, 15 to 25% of protein, 55 to 75% of carbohydrates. Meal ideas will include my favorite overnight oats with some berries or banana or apple or whatever fruit of choice you fancy, really. Toast bread with eggs, smoothies with banana, apple, yogurt, rice salad and protein of choice, roasted vegetables such as sweet potato, carrot, onion, peppers, and so on. You can just screenshot these meal ideas from the description box. Step 4, make it a lifestyle. Repeat the cycle every 12 weeks. Or make it a weekly routine where you eat meals that are high in fat and low in carbs for 3 days a week. Low fat, moderate carbs, moderate protein. 2 days a week, high carbs, low protein, low fat, or high carbs, moderate protein, low fat. 2 days a week. Eat healthy for an entire year without depriving yourself of the foods you love. And the earlier you start, the better you start seeing the results. You deserve to live a healthy life, feel comfortable in your body, and not be constantly tired, bloated, or bogged down by illness. You deserve the freedom to walk away from hormone imbalance, lack of confidence, diabetes, or autoimmune disease. But you want to make sure that you're tracking your diet every week so you can monitor your progress. Remember the tasks I mentioned when we were talking about inflammation, in terms of writing down your meals and seeing how your body responds to it. That way you can know what to cut out, what to keep doing, and what to stop doing. Step 5. Finally, step 5. Be accountable. Accountability not only motivates you to get started, it keeps you going throughout the journey. And you can do this year, hanging out with me here every Sunday, where a new dose of knowledge, motivation, or inspiration will await you. Next Sunday, I will be sharing how to supercharge your results with my best tips on intermittent fasting. So, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next week. Bye for now.